So, the idea of having a budget has been set and the parameters set as we've all heard is the issue of compliance. And that's where procurement plays a critical role. Over the years, we've not seen so much in terms of compliance. And so for us at the Bureau of Public Procurement, we realized that the law has provided for everything he has said, the monitoring, the audits, ensuring that value for money is achieved. The key component that has not been utilized is compliance. So what have we done? We have now decided to set out times telling every government agency, you have to start your process and you must show us at what stage you are. You must give monthly reports. Monthly reports will be submitted to the various organs for FEC. For the executive and the Federal Executive Council will be getting reports from us as the Bureau of Public Procurement. Every minister must submit. In addition, for the first time, we're even saying that all process of award must start and end by the end of May 2025. What does that say? That says that now government is serious about implementation. That means you as a government agency, you have the responsibility to make sure you determine when you advertise, how you evaluate, when the contractor will go to site, when the contractor is going to complete it. And then the second half of the year, we're now saying that we're going to the field. The field means every minister, every chief executive has the responsibility to then show in practical terms the implementation of their budgets. So it's no longer business as usual. Right? Maybe before we don't know. Now you know that the watchdog is coming after you to ensure that what you said you will do. In addition, we're now going to make sure that we provide timely information to the civil society, to professional bodies, to every sector of the government to know what has been awarded, when it was awarded, what amount was awarded, location of the project, and we are now going further to use civil society. We are partnering with the civil society, which I've started doing in the last couple of months, to show them what they need to know. We're talking to professional bodies to say this is what it is, and we need you. Right now, the challenge has been that there's not been strong synergy between the executive arm or those of us involved and those who are outside there, the professional bodies, the civil society. So there's now a closer relationship whereby we can't be everywhere. But these people are out there. So they can tell us this rail line you are building. You say you're going to build 5 kilometers of the rail line. BPP will give them the data, the information. They can verify. We're spending lots of resources in trying to see that happens. So the other component of what is happening this year is what we call community-based procurement.
Okay.
Now, that's very interesting. We have 774 local governments. We have thousands of wards. What the president under this regime has done is that, you see, we are trying to now say, let's take development to these wards. We want to empower them by saying within this area, you can have resources and develop. You said you want a good primary health care center. You want this. We're now going to remove some conditions that inhibit development in those areas. So we're now saying that let us see, amount of money has been given to you for agric, for this. We want the local businessmen in that particular area to have that particular amount of money to do that job. So it's going to, you can imagine the chief of that environment seeing 10 million naira given to his ward and having the right person to handle that particular job. He will make sure that that primary health care is well built. Because if otherwise, the whole community will get at him. So government has said within a particular threshold, and as we have heard, President is trying to up the approval threshold that will also help to improve the turnaround time of project implementation, because if you increase the threshold, you are also giving more room for ministries, agencies, parastatals to be able to move faster rather than waiting for higher approval. And by that, we lose time. So a lot of things have been put in place, like you
Do you have
mentioned.
enough officials to, carry out all this monitoring and evaluation you are talking about?
Okay,
Or
so
are you working with subnationals, like is the state government and local
okay.
governments?
All right. So again, we can't continue to do the same thing the same way and expect a different results. What we're saying that we need all critical stakeholders to achieve this. One is the civil society. So we're going to give them all data and empower them to go to the field and check. We have professional bodies, engineers, architects, medical professionals, agri professionals, IT professionals located across the country. We want them to have that power to be able to give feedbacks on what is happening in those sectors. You see, we must go sector-wise. We can't be a jack of all trade and be a master of none. We expect engineers to monitor the roads. Nigerian society engineers, the current, they should be able to tell us the quality of the road being built from Abuja, Kaduna, Kano, Portiscom, in every local, because BPP is just the regulatory body coordinating to ensure these things are brought to life. So associations, professional associations needs to up their game to be able to tell government this is quality or this is substandard. The second leg is the subnational level, the states. We have a platform where we are working with the states bodies to be able to say, we are giving you information about federal projects located in your states. Please give us up-to-date reports. At the local level, we also have Algon. I want to let you know today that we've met with Algon, the 774 local government, the coordinating, the chairman and others, to say for the first time, we're churning out a process, a collaboration, to say in your local government, this job will be done, this project will be done. Can you, as the chairman of that local government, we want to work with you to give us timely reports of what government, federal. I know the interesting thing is this. Federal government, once it's done well at federal government, it has a way of rippling into the states and the local government down to the world. So we are the big brothers. So we are now pushing. We are pushing. So I call ourselves the enabler. We are the facilitator of the transformation of what the Renewed Hope agenda is bringing to place. The other part I need to mention, where he said the sanctions. You see, no matter how beautiful all these things we have said are, and we don't institute a kind of sanction mechanism or debarment mechanism, people will always get away with what they did last year, thinking it's business as usual. No. Right now, we form a very strong anti-corruption relationship with ICPC, EFCC particularly, and Code of Conduct to say, look, there are audit reports. There are M&E reports we have received from civil society that we have conducted on our own. We have seen infractions. Please, can you go and investigate, even if it's one that we are able to deal with? And also with National Assembly, we are churning out for the first time in years the rate at which we are churning out audit reports and M&E reports to National Assembly is something that should gladden the minds of Nigeria, because they will take them on and ask them, why, what have you done with this?
All right. Many thanks, Dr. Adedokun. From what you've said, it looks like we're going to see the budget performing better, or if you like, Nigerians will begin to feel the impact of the budget. But I want to find out, how does the Bureau of Public Procurement intends to deal with inflated costs? Because, when these things are done, some numbers are manipulated, So how do you want to check that, just so that, we can begin to recover some money and block some leakages?
You see, when I hear inflated costs, there are a lot of parameters that make Nigerians perceive that projects are inflated. And I'll tell you straight ahead, under my watch, we have what we call price intelligence. What we're doing now is, when we receive a request, by the way, prices, once we advertise, and that's the goal, once we advertise projects, we understand that there are exceptions to that law of advertisement. We understand that. But you see, the best way to make sure costs are competitive is to ensure that agencies advertise. Because what you do in that case is that markets drives the costs. Don't forget, in preparing your cost of a project, you are going to look at cost of security. You are going to look at cost of providing fuel. You are going to look at cost of payments, cost of funds. All these are parameters that determine how the cost of a project will be. So there are other arms of government that are dealing with timely payments to contractors. So at the end of the day, when we see that a project costs so, it's not because it's being inflated. These are the parameters that makes it look. But however, from our side, is that we are not doing what is called, we've created a unit called Price Intelligence Unit.
Okay.
That Price Intelligence Unit is to daily monitor cost of items, off the shelf items. You want to buy AC, you want to buy these, those are commonly used items. If you go to construction, we are relying on the data that we are working closely with Ministry of Works and other agencies that gives us what rates are happening. So we're going to soon publish, because all over the world, there has to be a benchmark. It's no longer going to be at your discretion. No, there are parameters that determine what a cost of 1 kilometer road is. And I can tell you, those perceptions we've been able to significantly, in the last 3 months, look at projects that come to us and benchmark. I can tell you confidently, we are seriously benchmarking. And we have reported how we have reduced projects that seemingly should have been this. Based on benchmarking, we have brought it to what is fair globally, taking into consideration that projects are determined by provision of security, provision of power, and other parameters. When we are able to sufficiently guarantee that a contractor gets a contract today, is assured that he's going to get payment as at when due, it will reduce his cost of project. If he's guaranteed security along the path of which he is working, he's going to reduce his cost of project. If he knows there's sufficient power, he doesn't have to buy this all the time, his cost of project. So this current government has now brought innovations in terms of use of other alternative sources of power. So with all this ingredients, we are beginning to see downward in terms of cost of project. I can tell you that we are beginning to see a downward. It's gradual, but I think with time, the cost of projects of doing business in Nigeria will also be...
Can you be specific? Can you give us specific numbers of the ones that have gone down?
Well, you see, there are a number of projects, again, that I won't be able to mention off it, but I've seen under my watch how we have benchmarked, and the government is happy. Nigerians are happy that the BPP is watching and is scrutinizing those costs. And those agencies know that you can't just bring any price about a project. Somebody is watching and will give Nigerians the actual cost of that project.
Prof,